Mars was not always the arid planet we see today. This audiobook explores the missions that have unraveled its secrets, from the early flybys to modern rovers like Perseverance, a story spanning decades that speaks not only of the red planet, but also of our constant desire to go beyond. Since ancient times, Mars has been the focus of attention for astronomers and dreamers. It has been called the planet of war due to its red colour, which evokes images of battles and conquests. However, today, interest in Mars goes far beyond its appearance. It is a place where clues about the history of the solar system could be found and, who knows, perhaps even about our own existence. Each mission launched toward Mars has been like a page in an exciting book, revealing secrets that have remained hidden. In this video, we will embark on a journey that spans more than half a century of Martian exploration. From the first attempts to see Mars to the sophisticated current missions, each step has been an advancement in our understanding of this planet. Did you know that the first close-up image of Mars was captured by a probe in 1965? That mission, Mariner 4, opened the door to a new world of discoveries and questions. With each mission, Mars has revealed more about its geology, atmosphere, and the possibility of life. Missions that have flown, orbited, and landed on its surface have shown that Mars is not just an arid desert. In reality, it is a world full of contrasts, where ancient water flows have sculpted landscapes and where ice may be hidden beneath its surface. But if Mars's history is, the exploration of Mars is not just about advanced technology, it is about the innate curiosity of human beings. What lies beyond our planet? Can we find a second home? From the days when astronomers looked at the sky with rudimentary telescopes to the automated spacecraft now traversing its surface, each advance has brought us one step closer to answering these questions. Mars has been a mirror in which we have seen ourselves reflected, a reminder of our own history and what we could become. The missions we will explore have not only been technological milestones, but also epic narratives of bravery and perseverance. Imagine scientists and engineers working tirelessly, as if they were building a bridge between two worlds. How many hours of work, how many calculations, and how many dreams have been invested in each of these missions? The answer is astonishing, and the result has been a legacy of discoveries that will change our understanding of the universe. Rovers, probes, and orbiters have been our eyes and ears on Mars. But beyond the technology, there is a human story behind each mission. Passionate people who have dedicated their lives to unraveling the secrets of a planet that is millions of kilometers away. What drives them? That relentless quest for knowledge and the hope that one day we might find signs of life or even inhabit there. The importance of Martian exploration lies not only in the information we obtain, but in what it teaches us about ourselves. Each finding, each image, each piece of data collected invites us to reflect on our place in the cosmos. Are we really alone in the universe? Are there other forms of life waiting to be discovered? Mars, with its thin atmosphere and history of water, could be the key to answering these questions. As we progress through this journey, we will also see how technology has evolved. The first probes were rudimentary, but each new generation has brought innovations that have expanded our capabilities. Did you know that the latest rover, Perseverance, is equipped with technology that allows it to conduct experiments on Mars itself. Science fiction has become reality, and the possibilities are exciting. The exploration of Mars is not just a chapter in the book of science, it is a story in constant development. As new missions are launched, new frontiers are opened. International collaboration and private interest have led to a renaissance in space exploration. What surprises does the future hold for us? Only time will tell, but what is undeniable is that Mars will continue to be a protagonist in the search for answers about our universe. With each new mission, the pieces of the Mars puzzle are coming together, and what once seemed a distant dream is becoming a tangible reality. Human curiosity is insatiable, and Mars is the next great challenge. So join us on this journey, where we'll discover not only the achievements, but also the failures and lessons that have brought us here. The story of Mars is also the story of humanity, and each discovery brings us a little closer to understanding our place in the vast universe. The exploration of Mars is a fascinating journey that has captured the imagination of humanity for centuries. But how did it all begin? In ancient times, astronomers gazed at the night sky and marveled at the brilliance of the red planet. What secrets did that bright point hold? Thus, Mars became a symbol of the unknown and the mysterious. From the earliest observations with rudimentary telescopes, scientists began to notice features on the surface of Mars that sparked their curiosity. Were those channels that seemed drawn by a human hand? As technology advanced, so did our vision of the planet. In the 19th century, astronomer Giovanni Schiaparelli popularized the idea of canals, which many believed were the works of an advanced civilization. But was there really life on Mars, or was it just an illusion created by the imagination? Over time, interest in Mars grew and transformed into a tangible ambition. In the 1960s, the space race was in full swing. Nations competed to explore space, and Mars became the next great objective. What would be there? Could it be home to living beings, or perhaps the next destination for humanity? The questions were many, and the answers scarce. This is how the first space missions began to pave the way to Mars. Martian exploration was not only about searching for life, but also about understanding the geology and atmosphere of the planet. Each mission was another step toward discovery, an attempt to unveil the mysteries of a distant world. But how did scientists feel thinking about the risk of sending spacecraft to such a distant planet? The initial missions were a great challenge. It was not easy to send a spacecraft to Mars, and each attempt brought with it a lot of uncertainty. Technical failures, unpredictable conditions, and the vastness of space were just some of the obstacles that had to be overcome. However, the perseverance of the scientific community was crucial. Each failure became a lesson, each success a reason to celebrate. Over time, the probes began to send images and data that transformed our understanding of Mars. And here arises an intriguing question. What discoveries were the most surprising? From desert landscapes to evidence of water in the past, Mars gradually revealed its secrets. Each new finding generated more questions than answers, and curiosity continued to grow. Martian exploration has not been the effort of a single nation. Various space agencies around the world have contributed to this joint effort. What role have different countries played in the search for answers about Mars? International collaboration has allowed for the sharing of resources, knowledge, and above all, dreams. Thus, the exploration of Mars has become a collective effort that transcends borders. As we move forward in the history of Martian exploration, it becomes evident that each mission not only provides scientific data, but also inspiration. Achievements on Mars have influenced popular culture from movies to books and have fueled new generations of scientists. How can such a distant planet motivate so many people on Earth? The story of Mars exploration is also a story about our own yearnings. The search for life, the curiosity about the unknown, and the desire to expand our horizons are just some of the driving forces behind this fascinating adventure. What does this tell us about our own human nature? Perhaps deep down we all carry an explorer within, eager to discover what lies beyond our home. Every step we have taken on this interplanetary journey is a testament to our ability to dream big. The missions that have explored Mars have reflected our technological advancements and our insatiable curiosity. But what awaits us in the future? As we continue our exploration, the story of Mars keeps being written, and each new mission adds a fascinating chapter. On this path to discovery, Mars becomes a mirror of our own history. It reminds us that despite challenges and adversities, the pursuit of knowledge and understanding our place in the universe is what unites us as humanity. Thus, the exploration of Mars is not just a scientific adventure, but a journey to the very heart of what it means to be human. As we progress through time, each discovery on Mars becomes a cornerstone for future explorations. The lessons learned from each mission prepare us for the challenges ahead. What surprises will the red planet hold for us in the future? The anticipation is palpable, and the story of Martian exploration continues, filled with promises and possibilities. With each new advance, the fascination with Mars is renewed. The story of its exploration is a reminder that, although the path to the unknown may be uncertain, the quest for answers is what drives us forward. Thus, Mars becomes a symbol of hope and human ingenuity, a beacon that guides our gazes toward the starry sky, reminding us that there is always more to discover. In 1963, the world was about to witness an event that would forever change our understanding of space. The Mariner 4 mission, launched by NASA, was the first to send images of Mars back to Earth. But what motivated this bold attempt to explore the red planet? At a time when the Cold War dominated the global stage, space exploration was also a field of competition. The United States and the Soviet Union were fighting to demonstrate their technological superiority. As scientists directed their telescopes toward Mars, curiosity about this neighbouring planet grew. There were talks of oceans, landscapes similar to those on Earth, and of course, the possibility of life. The Mariner 4 mission was not just a scientific experiment, but a symbol of hope and ambition. What did scientists find in those first images sent from Mars? The answer surprised many. Instead of a world teeming with life, the photographs showed an arid, cratered landscape, more akin to the Moon than to a habitable planet. How could the perception we had of Mars change so drastically? This mission marked a turning point in the history of space exploration, revealing the harsh reality that future explorers would face. The objectives of Mariner 4 were clear: It sought to obtain information about Mars' atmosphere, temperature, and geography. Although the mission lasted only a few months, the results were revolutionary. The technology of the time did not allow for high-definition images, but the ones that were sent were enough to begin reconfiguring our understanding of Mars. The atmosphere, much thinner than anticipated, raised questions about the possibility of life. What conditions were needed for life to exist in such a place? As scientists analysed the data, they realised that Mariner 4 had opened the door to a new world of questions. The mission not only provided images and data, it also planted the seed for future exploration. What other secrets might the mysteries of Mars hold? Human curiosity is insatiable. Each discovery generates more questions. And so it was that, following the success of Mariner 4, a series of more ambitious missions were planned. Decades later, the images from Mariner 4 would still serve as a reference. How is it possible that an event from over half a century ago remains relevant today? The answer lies in how each mission has contributed to a much larger puzzle. From that first glimpse to the most recent explorations, each mission has been a brick in the construction of our knowledge about the Red Planet. And although the initial results were disappointing for some, they also served as a call to action. Let us imagine for a moment the NASA scientists of the 1960s. After receiving the images from Mariner 4, they felt challenged. The initial disappointment transformed into a drive to explore further. How could they accept that Mars, such a close world, did not offer the landscapes they had envisioned? Thus, they began to design new missions with improved technology and more ambitious goals. The story of Mariner 4 was just the first chapter of a larger narrative. The mission was not only a technological breakthrough but also a milestone in international collaboration. While it was an American program, the interest in Mars crossed borders, and scientists from around the world began to join the search for answers. What mysteries did Mars hold that could unite humanity in a shared effort? Over time, it became evident that the exploration of Mars transcended politics. It was a common quest for knowledge. The discoveries of Mariner 4 also sparked a change in the narrative about Mars in popular culture. Science fiction novels, which once imagined a Mars filled with life and advanced civilizations, began to adapt to this new reality. How did our stories and imaginations about the Red Planet transform as a result of this mission? The tales of Mars began to include the possibility of a hostile environment, which in turn fueled a new wave of scientific and cultural interest. The legacy of Mariner 4 was not limited to science. It also inspired new generations of explorers and dreamers. Who hasn't felt the attraction of the unknown? The mission demonstrated that, although the path is filled with challenges and disappointments, each step forward is a step toward discovery. The exploration of Mars became a metaphor for humanity's search for answers, a reminder that despite obstacles, the desire to know drives us to move forward. The lessons learned from Mariner 4 were also vital for the design of future missions. Every mistake and every success became a guide for what was to come. How many times have we failed in life and learned from those failures? Space exploration has much in common with our own experiences. Thus, the path to Mars became filled with milestones, each offering new opportunities to learn and grow. As humanity advanced toward new frontiers in space exploration, Mariner 4 became a constant reminder that every great journey begins with a small step. Who can imagine what the future holds for us? The story of Martian exploration remains open, and each new discovery invites us to dream beyond the stars. What new wonders await us on Mars in the years to come? The answer is just around the corner, waiting to be discovered by those brave enough to look to the sky. Thus concludes our look at Mariner 4, the pioneer that led us to explore the unknown and question what we thought we knew. Each mission that follows in this journey will be a testament to human curiosity, a reminder that, just like the planets in the vast universe, our dreams are also infinite. If you're enjoying this journey through the universe and want to keep exploring more cosmic mysteries, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and give the video a like. Thank you for being part of this star odyssey. Mars, the red planet, has captured our imagination for centuries. But what secrets does this fascinating world hold? In 1966, the Mariner 6 mission and its twin, Mariner 7, gave us a closer first look at this enigmatic planet. What revelations did these spacecraft bring with them? These missions marked a milestone in our understanding of Mars, and it is essential to explore how they changed our view of this cosmic neighbour. Mariner 6 was launched in February 1969, and shortly after, in July, it made its approach to Mars. Imagine that feeling of being about to see a place you had only heard about. With its goal of taking high-resolution images, this spacecraft was ready to unveil the mysteries of the Martian surface. But what did it actually find? Upon arrival, Mariner 6 began sending a series of photographs that showed an arid landscape, filled with craters and mountains. Can you imagine the scientists' surprise upon seeing that Mars was not the dream world many had imagined, but rather a frozen desert? Meanwhile, Mariner 7, launched a month later, did not lag behind. This mission had a more specific focus: to study the equatorial region of Mars. With a design similar to its predecessor, Mariner 7 also sent stunning photos showcasing the planet's geological diversity. Why is this important? Because those findings began to paint a more complex picture of Mars, revealing that the planet had features that could be similar to those of Earth. Both missions, Mariner 6 and 7, were pioneers in planetary exploration. But what was the real impact of these discoveries on our perception of Mars? Before these missions, Mars was a mystery shrouded in speculation. With the images and data collected, scientists began to formulate new theories about the planet's geological history. Could there have been water on its surface, or perhaps conditions that allowed for life? These questions began to emerge strongly. The craters and mountains that Mariner 6 and 7 revealed were not only fascinating, but also carried clues about the planet's past. The images showed a landscape that appeared to have been shaped by erosion, a process that on Earth is driven by water. But was there water on Mars? That was the question that began to linger in the minds of scientists. The missions led us to think of Mars not just as an inhospitable place, but as a world that once may have had a more temperate climate. Imagining a Mars with rivers and lakes is astonishing. But there was still more to discover. The images from Mariner 6 and 7 also revealed that the planet had a very thin atmosphere. This raised another intriguing question. How had Mars changed over time? The loss of its atmosphere could indicate that at some point Mars was a more welcoming place. The search for answers about how and why Mars became what it is today intensified. Both missions also sparked intense interest in Martian exploration. The scientific community and the public began to wonder, what else could we learn about this nearby planet? A push was generated to develop more advanced technology and continue exploration. The enthusiasm was contagious. The images from Mariner 6 and 7 not only fueled scientific curiosity, but also inspired an entire generation of dreamers and explorers. The contributions of these missions were enormous, but what did we really learn from them? First, they taught us that Mars is a place of contrasts, with landscapes ranging from vast plains to towering mountains. Second, they showed us that exploring other planets was not just a distant dream, but an achievable reality. The Mariner spacecraft opened the door to a new world of possibilities. Looking back, it is fascinating to think about how those first steps in Martian exploration laid the groundwork for future missions. Mariner 6 and 7 not only provided us with the first images of a distant planet, but also taught us to question and explore. How many more secrets could there be on Mars that we have yet to uncover? The Mariner missions reminded us that exploration is a journey, not a destination. Each image, each piece of data collected is a brick in the building of human knowledge. In the modern era, we continue to look at Mars with the same curious eyes that scientists had in the 1960s. The search for answers continues, and each new mission is a new chapter in the story of space exploration. So the next time you look up at the sky and see a bright red dot, remember that behind that light is a world full of stories waiting to be told. Mars, with all its mysteries and wonders, invites us to keep exploring, to keep dreaming, and to keep seeking answers. The Mariner 6 and 7 missions are just the beginning of an adventure that is still unfolding. Who knows what discoveries await us in the future? The Mariner 9 mission marked a milestone in the history of space exploration. Can you imagine being the first to orbit a planet? Mariner 9 did it in 1971, and its feat was like being the first explorer to circle a new land, mapping unknown landscapes and uncovering hidden secrets. This mission was more than just a journey. It was a window into the mysteries of Mars, and it showed us for the first time the true appearance of the Red Planet. Launched in May 1971, Mariner 9 arrived at Mars in November of the same year. But why was this mission so important? Before Mariner 9, most of what we knew about Mars came from telescopic observations, which were often little more than optical illusions. Some people even believed that Mars was covered in canals made by intelligent beings. Mariner 9 put an end to those myths and opened a new chapter in our understanding of the planet. The first major discovery of Mariner 9 was the revelation of a rugged landscape, filled with craters, mountains, and valleys. Imagine seeing photographs of a world that seems almost like a desert, but with features you had never seen before. Did you know that Mariner 9 was the first mission to capture images of the famous Olympus Mons? This volcano is so large that it could contain the entire island of Hawaii inside it. Who wouldn't be fascinated by the idea of a giant volcano on another planet? In addition to geological wonders, Mariner 9 also discovered something unexpected. The presence of dust in the Martian atmosphere. This was like opening a box of surprises. Scientists not only saw an arid landscape, but they also realized that Mars had an active atmosphere that changed with the seasons, something that had not been imagined before. Thus, the red planet began to resemble a more dynamic world rather than a barren desert. But how did scientists feel when they received these images? The excitement was palpable, as if they had found a hidden treasure. Each photograph was a puzzle that helped them understand the planet's history. Mariner 9 not only provided them with images, but also offered data on temperature and atmospheric pressure, allowing them to make conjectures about Martian weather. They realized that Mars had a rich and complex geological history, full of episodes of volcanic activity and erosion. One of the most intriguing findings of Mariner 9 was the evidence of ancient rivers and lakes. Can you imagine a Mars that may have once had liquid water on its surface? This discovery ignited the imagination of many and raised fascinating questions. Could there have been life on Mars? What happened to the water? These questions fueled future research and the desire to explore further. The Mariner 9 mission lasted nearly a year, but its legacy endures. The images and data it sent changed our view of space and propelled us to send more missions to Mars. Without Mariner 9, we might never have imagined the wealth of geological features that exist on Mars or the complexity of its atmosphere. Looking back, it is amazing to think about what Mariner 9 meant for science. It was like the first step of a child daring to walk. It paved the way for future explorers and scientists, showing that there was much more to Mars than we could imagine. The missions that came after built on the foundations that Mariner 9 established. But what lessons did we learn from this mission? One of them is that space exploration is a journey full of surprises. You never know what exciting discoveries await us ahead. Just like an explorer venturing into the unknown, scientists must be prepared to encounter the unexpected and adapt to the results that arise. The story of Mariner 9 is a reminder that human curiosity knows no bounds. Each mission, each discovery brings us one step closer to understanding our place in the universe. As we continue to explore Mars and other planets, it is essential to remember that each small finding can have a significant impact on our understanding of the cosmos. So the next time you look up at the sky and see the bright red of Mars, remember that there is a rich and fascinating story behind that planet. Mariner 9 was just the beginning of a journey that is still ongoing. A journey that invites us to keep exploring, discovering, and dreaming. The Martian adventure is just beginning, and each mission brings us a little closer to unveiling the secrets of the red planet. The search for life on Mars has always been a fascinating topic that invites us to dream. In 1976, when the Viking 1 and 2 probes landed on the surface of the red planet, the world was eager to discover whether Mars had ever hosted any form of life. How did scientists feel at that moment, waiting for the first data from these robotic explorers? It was as if they were waiting for a letter from a distant friend, full of secrets and surprises. These missions were not just technical, they were an adventure. Viking 1 and 2 were equipped with experiments designed to search for life, like a detective looking for clues in a complicated case. One of the most intriguing experiments was called the metabolism experiment. Imagine that the surface of Mars is a huge laboratory. The scientists wanted to know if mixing certain nutrients with Martian soil would produce gases indicating the presence of life. But guess what? The answers were not as clear as they had hoped. The result of this experiment was puzzling. Although some gases were detected, they were not definitive. It was as if a chef had prepared a delicious dish, but could not decide if there was really a secret ingredient. The scientific community was divided. Some believed there was life, while others argued that the results could be explained by chemical processes in the soil that did not involve living organisms. How do you decide the fate of such an important mission? The scientists did not give up. With each piece of data they received from the Viking missions, new questions arose. Could there have been life in Mars past? What climate changes might have affected its surface? At this point, Mars became a puzzle that required more pieces to be solved. The analyses of the images and samples sent by the probes revealed an arid landscape, but also hints of water in the form of ice, indicating that Mars once had a warmer and wetter environment. Could it have been a place where life could have thrived? As the years went by, the idea that Mars might harbour life transformed. It was not just about searching for current life, but also investigating its history. The Viking mission opened the door to a new way of thinking about the Red Planet. It became the first step toward deeper exploration, where questions about life focused not only on the present but also on the past. The search for life on Mars resembles unearthing an ancient treasure. Each subsequent mission has been like an archaeologist digging at a historical site, looking for clues that connect the past with the present. Later missions such as Mars Pathfinder and the Spirit and Opportunity rovers continued this legacy, revealing more about the geology and history of water on Mars. What else could they find in their explorations? Each discovery was a hint that Mars had secrets yet to be uncovered. The dilemma of life on Mars has captured the imagination of many people. The Viking missions were not only a technological achievement, but also a beacon of hope. The possibility that life once existed on the Red Planet has inspired generations of scientists and dreamers. Who hasn't looked at the stars and wondered what lies beyond our world? As the rovers and probes continue to explore Mars, the search for life becomes even more exciting. With each discovery, the possibility that Mars once hosted life becomes more tangible. But many questions remain unanswered. What kind of life might have existed? Was it microscopic or more complex? And what if we found evidence of ancient organisms? Imagination soars when thinking about the implications of these findings. However, the exploration of Mars is not just about searching for past life. It is also a reminder that life on Earth is fragile and valuable. The search for life on other planets drives us to take care of our home. Isn't it fascinating to think that by searching for life on Mars, we are also learning to value life on our own planet? The Viking missions marked a milestone, a turning point in our understanding of space. Although the results were mixed, their legacy endures. With each new mission, from curiosity to perseverance, we continue to fill the gaps in our understanding of Mars. The question of whether Mars ever hosted life remains a mystery, but each step we take brings us a little closer to the truth. So, as we reflect on the history of the Viking missions, it is essential to remember that space exploration is a journey, not only into the cosmos but also into the depths of our human curiosity. What else will we discover in the future? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain. The search for life on Mars continues, and each mission is a chapter in this exciting story. The Mars Pathfinder mission not only marked a milestone in the exploration of Mars, but also changed the way we understand and relate to other worlds. What makes this mission so special? In 1997, NASA launched an innovative project that included a lander and a small rover named Sojourner. This little robot was the first rover to explore the surface of another planet, and its story is full of surprises. Imagine a toy car that can move on its own. Sojourner was something like that, but in the context of a red desert planet. Equipped with cameras and scientific tools, its job was not only to take pictures but also to analyze the Martian soil. How did a small robot manage to perform such complex tasks? The key lay in its design and the communication technology that allowed it to send information back to Earth. The arrival of Mars Pathfinder was an exciting moment. Upon landing, the NASA team did not know exactly what to expect. Had Sojourner survived the landing? Could it function in the extreme environment of Mars? When the first images were received, the excitement was palpable. The rover had not only arrived, but its first photograph revealed an impressive landscape filled with rocks and dust. But beyond the images, the mission had a clear objective: to search for clues about Mars' history. As Sojourner began its exploration, each small movement was a monumental advance. What did we learn from this rover? In its travels, Sojourner encountered different types of rocks and began to provide data about their composition. Each rock was like an open book telling the story of the planet, and the rover acted as a curious explorer ready to read each page. One of the most fascinating findings of Mars Pathfinder was the evidence of water in Mars' past. How could a small robot discover something so monumental? The rocks that Sojourner analysed showed signs of having been exposed to water, suggesting that Mars may once have had more benign and possibly habitable conditions. The idea that Mars may have harboured liquid water raises intriguing questions about the possibility of life. Communication between Sojourner and Earth was also an impressive feat. How did it send data millions of kilometres away? It used a transmission system that allowed it to send information in the form of radio signals. This process was not only ingenious but also enabled scientists on Earth to receive updates almost in real time about Sojourner's discoveries. No one had ever seen Mars in this way. In addition to its scientific exploration, the Mars Pathfinder mission was an exercise in technological innovation. How difficult is it to send a robot to another planet and make it work? The lessons learned from this mission laid the groundwork for future rovers. The experience with Sojourner helped engineers develop more advanced rovers, such as Spirit and Opportunity, which would come later. The mission also had a significant impact on public perception of space exploration. Why is it important for people to be interested in Mars? The fascination with the red planet was fueled by the images and data that Sojourner sent back. This generated a renewed interest in science and space exploration, showing people that there was a world beyond our own that deserved to be explored. Mars Pathfinder was not only a success for its discoveries, but also for its ability to engage people. The images and scientific findings were widely shared, allowing anyone from a child to an adult to feel part of this interplanetary adventure. Isn't it amazing to think that we all got to look at Mars through Sojourner's eyes? The mission concluded after several months of exploration, but its legacy endures. Through the data collected and technological innovations, Mars Pathfinder opened the doors to a new era of Martian exploration. What do all these discoveries mean for the future? They taught us to be more curious and to keep seeking answers in our solar system. The story of Mars Pathfinder is a reminder that space exploration is not just a scientific endeavour, but an adventure shared by all humanity. Each discovery brings us a little closer to understanding our place in the universe and the possibility that we are not alone. So as we look to the future, the Mars Pathfinder mission remains a beacon of inspiration in our quest for knowledge. As we reflect on this mission, it is clear that human curiosity knows no bounds. Mars Pathfinder taught us that, although we are small compared to the vast cosmos, our dreams of exploring and discovering are enormous. Who knows what else the future holds in our quest to understand Mars and beyond? The exploration has just begun, and each new mission brings us one step closer to answering the most intriguing questions about our universe. Mars Global Surveyor was a mission that came to change the game in the exploration of Mars. Imagine having a map of a place you have never visited, but that allows you to know every corner and detail of its surface. That is exactly what this mission achieved, becoming a true pioneer in Martian cartography. With its launch in 1996, Mars Global Surveyor not only became the first satellite to orbit Mars after more than 2 decades of inactivity, but it also opened a new era of discoveries. The mission was designed with a clear objective: to study the red planet in a more detailed way than ever before. What kind of information did it aim to obtain? From the topography and geology to the climate and atmosphere of Mars. To achieve this, the spacecraft was equipped with a series of scientific instruments that allowed it to capture high-resolution images and conduct detailed analyses of the Martian surface. Can you imagine being able to see the mountains, valleys, and craters of Mars with unprecedented clarity? One of the most fascinating aspects of the mission was its ability to map Mars in 3 dimensions. Why is this so important? Because understanding the shape of the terrain is crucial for any future exploration, whether by robots or humans. Thanks to Mars Global Surveyor, scientists were able to create 3-dimensional maps that revealed the height of mountains and the depth of valleys, allowing for a deeper understanding of the Martian landscape. One of the most exciting surprises that emerged from this mission was the discovery of channels and formations that indicated Mars may have had water on its surface in the past. How did they realize this? The images from Mars Global Surveyor showed structures resembling those we see on Earth, where water has sculpted the landscape over millions of years. This raised intriguing questions about the history of water on Mars and its potential to have harbored life. The mission did not only focus on observing Mars's past, it also provided valuable information about its current climate. Is it possible that Mars has a climate similar to Earth's? Thanks to the data collected, scientists began to better understand the dynamics of the Martian atmosphere, including wind patterns and dust storms that can cover the planet. This is crucial for any future manned mission, as knowing the climate can help plan the best way to explore the planet. Mars Global Surveyor also played a vital role in identifying potential landing sites for future missions. With its ability to provide detailed images of the surface, it was able to highlight areas with interesting geological features that deserved further exploration. Who could imagine that an orbiting satellite could guide explorers on the surface? The impact of the mission was so great that the data collected continues to be used by scientists and researchers to this day. In fact, many of the missions that came after Mars Global Surveyor were based on its findings. How valuable is that information? Think of it as a solid foundation on which to build a new building. Without the proper foundations, any future exploration could be compromised. The duration of the mission was also notable. Mars Global Surveyor operated for nearly 10 years, much longer than initially planned. This extended time allowed scientists to gather a wealth of data and continue monitoring the planet as changes occurred in its atmosphere and surface. What does this mean for future exploration? It means that the information becomes increasingly accurate and valuable over time. The conclusion is that Mars Global Surveyor was not just an exploration mission, but a catalyst for renewed interest in Mars. With its discoveries about water, climate, and geology, it helped change the narrative about the Red Planet, taking us from a place of mystery to one of promises and possibilities. Who knows what more secrets Mars may reveal in the future? As we reflect on the legacy of Mars Global Surveyor, it is fascinating to think about how its impact is felt in every mission that came after. From the rovers that have explored its surface to the satellites that continue to observe its atmosphere, every step in Martian exploration builds on the contributions of this pioneering mission. The story of Mars Global Surveyor is a reminder that every small discovery counts. Every image, every piece of data, every finding brings us one step closer to understanding our place in the universe. So, the next time you think of Mars, remember that thanks to missions like Mars Global Surveyor, we are a little closer to unveiling the mysteries of this fascinating and enigmatic planet. Who knows? Perhaps the future of Martian exploration is filled with even more exciting surprises. Mars, the Red Planet, has fascinated humanity since time immemorial. But what if I told you that, thanks to a mission called Mars Odyssey, we have been able to answer some of the most intriguing questions about this mysterious neighbour? Launched in 2001, Mars Odyssey not only became a silent witness to the evolution of Mars, but also offered us a glimpse of the water hidden beneath its surface. Imagine having an explorer that never stops, continuously sending valuable information for years. Mars Odyssey is precisely that. With a duration of over 2 decades, it has exceeded all expectations, becoming the longest-serving Mars explorer in history. But what is the secret of its longevity? The answer lies in its robust design and ability to adapt to the challenges of the Martian environment. One of the most striking discoveries of Mars Odyssey was the detection of large amounts of water ice at the North Pole of Mars. This raises a fascinating question. Could there be enough water to support life? The presence of water is fundamental in the search for life, and Mars Odyssey has provided us with valuable clues about its existence. But what does this really mean? It means that if life ever existed on Mars, that ice could be an essential resource for future crewed missions. The main instrument of Mars Odyssey, a gamma-ray spectrometer, has been crucial in this search. This equipment can analyze the composition of Martian soil from orbit, revealing not only ice but also minerals that may have been altered by water in the past. Can you imagine being able to look at the surface of a planet from space and know exactly what lies beneath it? That's what this instrument does. Additionally, Mars Odyssey has provided data about the Martian atmosphere. Did you know that the Martian atmosphere is extremely thin? This information is vital for understanding the planet's climatic history. The mission has revealed that Mars had a warmer and wetter climate in the past, suggesting that it may have been a habitable place. What happened to that climate? Why did it become so inhospitable? These questions remain subjects of research and debate. Another interesting aspect of Mars Odyssey is its ability to act as a communication relay. Imagine you are in a conversation and suddenly the signal cuts out. That's what could happen to a rover on the surface of Mars if it didn't have a link to Earth. Mars Odyssey has been crucial in maintaining communication between the rovers and scientists on our planet, ensuring that information flows uninterrupted. The mission has also been fundamental in mapping the planet. With its advanced technology, it has been able to create a detailed map of the Martian surface. This not only helps scientists select the best locations for future missions, but also allows all of us to imagine what it would be like to walk through those alien landscapes. Have you ever dreamed of being an explorer? Thanks to Mars Odyssey, that dream feels closer than ever. As technology advances, the information that Mars Odyssey has gathered becomes increasingly valuable. Scientists continue to analyze the data and make new discoveries. What surprises does the future hold for us? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain: Mars Odyssey has opened the door to new possibilities and expanded our understanding of the Red Planet. The mission has been a journey of continuous discovery. Every day, scientists receive new data that could change our perspective on Mars and its history. What other secrets does the planet hold? Human curiosity never stops, and every new mission sent to Mars builds on the findings of previous missions, including Mars Odyssey. In summary, the Mars Odyssey mission has not only been a great technological achievement, but has also expanded the boundaries of our knowledge about Mars. It has unearthed evidence of water, provided data about its atmosphere, and acted as a vital link between explorers on the surface and scientists on Earth. As we continue to explore Mars, it is important to remember that every discovery is built on the pioneering work of missions like this. The history of Mars exploration is full of surprises and challenges. Each mission brings us a little closer to answering the ultimate question: are we alone in the universe? Mars Odyssey, with its patience and dedication, has brought us closer to the answer and reminded us that space exploration is a journey that is just beginning. What other mysteries await us in the vast red desert of Mars? Only time and our determination will tell. Mars Express, the first European mission to Mars, is a milestone in space exploration. Launched in 2003, this mission not only marked the beginning of Europe's active participation in the study of the Red Planet, but also provided us with a treasure trove of information about its atmosphere, surface, and potential to harbour life. But what made Mars Express so special? And what surprising discoveries did it bring us? The mission was designed with a clear goal: to obtain a detailed map of Mars and study its atmosphere. Like an explorer seeking a new continent, Mars Express ventured into the unknown, equipping its spaceship with cutting-edge technology to scan the surface and analyze the composition of the atmosphere. Can you imagine what it feels like to be the first to observe such a distant and mysterious place? Every image and piece of data returned was a window into a world that had remained hidden for millennia. One of the most exciting contributions of Mars Express was the discovery of methane in the atmosphere of Mars. This gas, which on Earth is associated with biological activity, raised an intriguing question. Could there be life on Mars? Although methane can also be produced by geological processes, its presence in the Martian atmosphere sparked the interest of scientists around the world. What would this mean for our understanding of life on other planets? As Mars Express sent back data, scientists began to create a three-dimensional map of the planet. With the same enthusiasm as a painter bringing a blank canvas to life, researchers were able to see geological features such as valleys, mountains, and ancient riverbeds. This not only helped us understand what Mars was like in the past, but also allowed us to make comparisons with Earth. Isn't it fascinating to think that Mars, at some point, may have had conditions similar to those of our planet? The mission also explored the ice layers at the poles of Mars. Imagine a huge freezer packed with ice, hidden in a remote location. Through the images sent back by Mars Express, scientists were able to confirm the existence of frozen water, which is crucial for the possibility of life. But why is water so important? In the search for life, water is like the thread that ties all the pieces of the puzzle together. Without water, life as we know it could not exist. Mars Express not only focused on the past of Mars but also studied its current climate. Like a meteorologist tracking storms on Earth, this mission provided data on Martian dust storms and how they affect the planet's atmosphere. These storms, which can cover the entire planet, are a fascinating phenomenon that helps us understand the atmospheric dynamics of Mars. Can you imagine what it would be like to live in a place where dust storms can last for weeks? One of the most surprising aspects of Mars Express was its ability to make detailed observations of the surface. Through its radar instrument, it was able to penetrate the Martian surface and discover structures that were previously invisible. Have you ever played a treasure hunt? That's how scientists felt when discovering ancient rivers and lakes that once flowed on Mars. Each finding was a new clue in the story of this planet. The impact of Mars Express on the scientific community has been profound. Its discoveries have led to new questions and future missions. The idea that Mars may have harbored life in the past leads us to reflect on our own existence and the place we occupy in the universe. What other secrets does Mars hold? Every time we look at the sky, we wonder if there are other worlds like ours waiting to be discovered. the mission has not only been a success in terms of science, but has also inspired a new generation of explorers and scientists. Just as the discovery of America led to new explorations, the findings of Mars Express have opened the door to future missions and studies. Human curiosity is insatiable, and every answer leads us to new questions. In summary, Mars Express has not only changed our understanding of Mars, but has also reminded us of the importance of exploration. Each mission is another step towards understanding our place in the cosmos. What does the future hold in our quest to know Mars and its secrets? The adventure is just beginning, and with each discovery, the red planet becomes a little more familiar. The story of Martian exploration is full of surprises, and Mars Express is one of the jewels that has guided us through this exciting journey. The exploring twins, Spirit and Opportunity, are two of the most fascinating missions in the history of Mars exploration. Imagine two small robots, each the size of a car, sent to a distant world to solve the mysteries of a planet that has captivated human imagination for centuries. What secrets did Mars hold? Could it have harbored life in the past? These questions motivated the launch of these two missions in 2003, and what came next was nothing short of amazing. Spirit landed in a place called Gusev Crater, while Opportunity arrived on the other side of the planet in the Meridiani Planum crater. Although they were designed to explore different areas, both shared a common goal: to search for evidence of past water and to better understand Mars's geological history. So, what did these explorers find on their journey? From day one, Spirit and Opportunity faced a hostile and challenging environment, but their engineers had equipped these rovers with incredible robustness. Spirit, for example, encountered rocks that appeared to have been shaped by water. Can you imagine the excitement of scientists upon seeing these features? Each rock, each soil sample, each image they sent back to Earth was a new piece in the puzzle of Mars's history. As Spirit analysed the crater, Opportunity ventured to explore vast plains covered in hematite, a mineral that on Earth forms in the presence of water. What does this mean? That Mars had liquid water on its surface at some point in its history? This finding was a significant breakthrough for the scientific community, which had debated for years the possibility that Mars could have been a habitable place. Constant communication between the rovers and the team on Earth was vital. Every time a rover sent an image or data, it was like receiving a letter from a friend telling you about their adventures in a distant place. The images of Mars, with its reddish landscape and strange rock formations, ignited the imagination of millions of people around the world. Who hasn't felt amazed upon seeing those Martian horizons? As the months passed, Spirit and Opportunity exceeded their initial expectations. While Spirit's original mission was scheduled to last 3 months, the rover continued to operate for 6 years, exploring the terrain and sending data. How is it possible that a robot designed for a short period could last so long? This only highlights human ingenuity and the careful planning behind these missions. On the other hand, Opportunity became a true champion, operating for nearly 14 years. Imagine having a travel companion who not only shares your adventures, but also accomplishes more than you ever thought possible. Through dust storms, extreme temperatures, and difficult terrain, Opportunity continued to send valuable data until its mission came to an end in 2019. The story of Spirit and Opportunity is not just about the physical exploration of Mars, but also about the exploration of human curiosity. Each discovery made by these rovers not only contributed to scientific knowledge, but also inspired a new generation of scientists and engineers. Who doesn't feel a spark of curiosity when thinking about what these explorers have achieved? One of the most intriguing aspects of these missions is how the rovers made decisions for themselves. Equipped with basic artificial intelligence, they could navigate the terrain, avoid obstacles, and select interesting areas to investigate. What would they feel when deciding what to study? It's fascinating to think that although they were machines, they had a kind of freedom to explore their environment. Moreover, communication between the rovers and the control team on Earth was not always perfect. Sometimes there were delays and technical challenges, making the wait for data even more exciting. Patience and teamwork were key in this mission, and that is something we can all learn from. The exploration of Mars is a global collaborative effort, where scientists from different countries and disciplines come together to discover answers. The achievements of Spirit and Opportunity not only demonstrated that Mars had water, but also provided clues about the possibility of life in the past. Soil and rock analyses revealed chemical compounds that are essential for life as we know it. Each discovery was another step toward understanding whether Mars could have been a home for organisms at some point in its history. The story of these two rovers is an inspiring reminder that exploration knows no bounds. Through perseverance and curiosity, discoveries have been made that have changed our perception of space and our place in it. Who knows what else the future holds for Mars exploration? The search for answers continues, and each mission brings with it the possibility of a new discovery that could change the way we see the universe. Thus, Spirit and Opportunity are not just machines, they are symbols of human exploration and the desire to discover. These exploring twins teach us that even in the most distant and hostile places, there is always something new to learn and discover. The adventure of exploring Mars is still alive, and each step we take brings us a little closer to the answers we long for. The Phoenix mission, launched in 2008, set out to uncover some of Mars' best-kept secrets, particularly regarding water. Mars, often called the Red Planet, has fascinated scientists and dreamers for centuries. But why is water so important in the search for life? Simply because water is an essential ingredient for life as we know it. It's like oil in a lamp. Without it, the light doesn't shine. The Phoenix mission focused on the Martian North Pole, where it was believed that water ice existed beneath the surface. Could this ice be the key to discovering whether life ever existed on Mars? Scientists designed the mission with the goal of digging and analysing Martian soil. Just like an archaeologist carefully excavating a historical site in search of clues about past civilizations, Phoenix had the task of studying the planet's materials. The spacecraft, the size of a small truck, was equipped with a robotic arm that could dig into the ice and collect samples. Can you imagine the excitement of the scientists knowing they were about to touch the surface of another world for the first time? Once Phoenix arrived on Mars, it began its work. Using its robotic arm, the probe dug into the icy ground and collected samples for analysis. But what did they find? It turns out that the soil analysis showed that there was indeed water ice, and that it also contained essential chemical elements for life, such as carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. What does this mean? Basically that Mars had the basic ingredients for life. This was like finding an ancient cookbook in a forgotten library, suggesting that life could have existed in the past. Scientists were also surprised to discover that Martian soil had a fairly neutral pH, similar to that of some areas on Earth. This could indicate that Mars, at some point in its history, had a more hospitable environment than we had thought. But how do we know that this environment was suitable for life? The answer lies in studies of the conditions under which life develops on our own planet. Scientists compare these factors to better understand Mars' past. In addition to its work on the soil, Phoenix also studied the Martian atmosphere. The mission focused on understanding Mars' climate, and its data revealed that the planet has seasonal cycles just like Earth. This led to the intriguing question: could there have been liquid water on the surface during those cycles? Phoenix's findings suggest that in the past, Mars may have had a warmer and wetter climate. Imagine a Mars covered in rivers and lakes, a world where life could have developed. But the story doesn't end there. The Phoenix mission was also a milestone in communication between Earth and Mars. For the first time, high-resolution images of the Martian landscape were sent and transmitted in real time. This allowed millions of people, from students to scientists, to see what was happening on the red planet almost as it occurred. Can you imagine the excitement of being able to see Mars from the comfort of your home, while a small robot explores its surface? However, it wasn't all smooth sailing. The mission faced technical challenges, such as the need to keep the probe operational in extreme conditions. Temperatures on Mars can drop to minus 160 degrees Celsius at night. But engineers designed Phoenix with this adversity in mind. How did they do it? With a heating system that kept the instruments at an appropriate temperature, allowing the mission to continue its work despite the extreme cold. The Phoenix mission has left an important legacy. It not only provided valuable information about the possibility of life on Mars, but also set a precedent for future missions. The exploration of Mars has been a journey of constant discovery, and Phoenix was a crucial step along that path. What can we learn from all this? Curiosity and perseverance are essential for exploration. Every discovery, big or small, brings us closer to understanding the past of our planetary neighbour. And so, while Phoenix continued to send fascinating data and photographs, the world began to dream again of the possibility that Mars could be a home for life. The findings of this mission have inspired us to keep exploring, to keep dreaming. Deep down, the search for life on Mars is also a journey toward ourselves. We question our existence, our history, and our place in the universe. Remember that space exploration is not just a scientific endeavour, it is a human endeavour. It unites us in the search for answers to ancient questions that have intrigued humanity for generations. Through each mission, each discovery, and each bright image of the Martian surface, we realize that we are all in this adventure together. The Phoenix mission was proof that, Although Mars may seem like a frozen desert, it still holds secrets waiting to be uncovered. The exploration of Mars continues, and each new mission is an opportunity to learn more about our universe and about ourselves. What other mysteries lie hidden on the red planet? The answer is in the future, waiting to be revealed by the curious hands of tomorrow's explorers. What if I told you that there is a laboratory on Mars searching for clues about whether there was ever life on the red planet? That laboratory is Curiosity, a rover that has been exploring the Martian surface since 2012. But what exactly does this engineering marvel do? How has it become our eyes and ears in such a distant world? Curiosity is not just a robot, it is a true explorer. Imagine a scientist with a briefcase full of tools. This briefcase has everything needed to conduct experiments, take samples, and analyze its surroundings. This is how Curiosity operates, carrying an impressive array of scientific instruments designed to answer fundamental questions about Mars. One of Curiosity's main objectives is to understand if Mars could have been a habitable place in the past. To achieve this, the rover has been searching for signs of water, the essential ingredient for life as we know it. And what has it found? In its travels, Curiosity has discovered that Mars in ancient times had rivers and lakes. This is like discovering that a desert was once a vibrant jungle full of life. But the story doesn't end there. Curiosity has analysed rocks and sediments, finding chemical compounds that could indicate favourable conditions for life. Imagine exploring an old castle and finding an ancient diary. The clues you find there tell you about a time when the place was bustling and full of life. This is how Curiosity is unearthing the secrets of Mars one page at a time. One of the most fascinating instruments aboard Curiosity is the ChemCam. This device can see through distance, as if it had X-ray vision. It uses a laser to vaporize small portions of rock and analyze the light they emit. Think of it as an artist using a magnifying glass to examine the details of a painting. Each flash of light reveals information about the chemical composition of Martian rocks. The rover also has an instrument called SAP, which is capable of analyzing soil and rock samples for organic compounds. And what are organic compounds? They are the molecules that form the basis of life. Finding these compounds on Mars would be like finding a footprint of an ancient visitor in the sand of a beach. It could provide clues about whether life ever existed on that planet. In addition to its search for life, Curiosity has been exploring the geology of Mars. It has found mountains, craters, and valleys that tell the story of Martian climate. Think about how the rings of a tree can provide information about the years it has lived. Similarly, the layers of rock on Mars can reveal changes in its climate over millions of years. The rover has also captured stunning images of Martian landscapes, which often look like they are from a science fiction movie. The vibrant colours and unique rock formations allow us to imagine what Mars was like at its peak. But what do these images mean for us? They help us better understand our own planet and its history, as Mars and Earth share a similar past. Curiosity has not been alone in its mission. It has had to overcome challenges such as dust storms and technical issues. However, its resilience has proven to be inspiring. Imagine an athlete who, despite injuries and setbacks, continues to compete and achieve great things. Curiosity has done exactly that, overcoming obstacles in its quest for knowledge. One of the most important lessons we have learned from Curiosity is that space exploration is not just about finding answers, but also about asking questions. Each discovery leads to new inquiries. What else is on Mars that we have yet to discover? Could there be life in its depths where the rover cannot reach? Human curiosity drives us to keep exploring and discovering. Looking to the future, Curiosity's mission leaves us with an important legacy. As technology advances, new missions are planned to continue the exploration of Mars. Each rover and satellite we send into space is another step toward understanding our planetary neighbour. The exploration of Mars is an ongoing journey, and Curiosity has been a pioneer on that path. Finally, what does all this mean for us here on Earth? The exploration of Mars not only brings us closer to understanding if there is life beyond our planet, but also invites us to reflect on life itself. Each discovery reminds us that we are part of a vast universe, and that the pursuit of knowledge should never cease. As we continue to investigate, perhaps one day we will discover that we are not alone in this vast cosmos. So as Curiosity continues its journey, it leaves us with a fundamental question. What more can we learn from Mars? The answer awaits on the surface of a planet that has fascinated humanity for centuries. The exploration of Mars is an exciting chapter in our history that is just beginning. The MAVEN mission is a fascinating chapter in the history of Mars exploration, and it's easy to forget how crucial the atmosphere is for life on a planet. Have you ever wondered what happened to the water on Mars? That is one of the questions MAVEN set out to answer. Mars in its past was a wet planet, with rivers and perhaps even oceans. But today its surface is arid and cold. How did such a drastic transformation occur? The MAVEN mission, which stands for Mars Atmosphere and Volatile Evolution, was launched in November 2013 and arrived at Mars in September 2014. Its main objective was to study the Martian atmosphere and understand how it has changed over billions of years. If you think about it, a planet's atmosphere is like a coat. It protects it from the cold of space and maintains the necessary conditions for life. However, Mars has lost much of its atmosphere over time, and MAVEN is our detective in this story. What is the story behind the disappearance of Mars' atmosphere? To answer this question, MAVEN was equipped with a series of scientific instruments that allow it to analyze the composition of the atmosphere, measure the speed of solar wind, and observe how space particles interact with the Martian atmosphere. By doing so, scientists hope to understand the process that led Mars to lose its water, its heat, and possibly its ability to support life. One of the most interesting tools on MAVEN is its spectrometer, which can detect different gases in the atmosphere, such as carbon dioxide and methane. Have you ever heard that methane could be an indicator of life? This gas on Earth is associated with biological activity. Therefore, finding methane in the Martian atmosphere is like finding a small thread that connects the planet's past with the possibility that it was once a habitable place. The mission has also revealed that Mars is constantly being bombarded by solar wind, which consists of charged particles emanating from the sun. This solar wind can wear away the Martian atmosphere as if an artist were slowly erasing a painting. But how long has this been happening? data collected by MAVEN indicates that this process has been occurring for billions of years, meaning Mars has been losing its atmosphere since it formed. To get a clearer idea of the magnitude of this phenomenon, consider the following. If Earth were to lose its atmosphere in the same way, our planet could become an inhospitable desert in a matter of millions of years. This makes us appreciate even more the importance of the atmosphere and how it protects not only living beings but also ecosystems in general. MAVEN has spent years in orbit and has made surprising discoveries. One of the most intriguing findings is the existence of a water cycle on Mars, although it is very different from the one we know on Earth. How does this cycle occur? Through the observation of water and vapor clouds in the atmosphere, MAVEN has shown that, although Mars is dry, water still plays a role in its climate. Scientists have also begun to better understand how solar events impact the Martian atmosphere. Imagine that the sun is like a huge fan blowing air over the planet. When there are solar storms, the solar wind can be stronger, accelerating the loss of the atmosphere. This knowledge is crucial, not only for understanding Mars but also for preparing for future crewed missions to the planet. Throughout its mission, MAVEN has sent over 80,000 data measurements to Earth. Each of these data points is a piece of the puzzle that helps us understand the history of the Red Planet. Of course, this is not just about Mars. By studying other planets, we also learn more about our own Earth and how it has evolved over time, and what about the future. MAVEN has provided us with a detailed map of the Martian atmosphere, but there are still many unanswered questions. Scientists hope that their findings will serve as a foundation for future research and missions. Every discovery we make about Mars brings us closer to understanding whether it ever could have harbored life, and if, perhaps, in some corner of the universe, there are other civilizations also trying to understand their place in the cosmos. In summary, the MAVEN mission has been a fascinating window into Mars' past, and a reminder of the importance of the atmosphere in the search for life. The exploration of Mars is like a huge cosmic puzzle, and each mission, each instrument, is a piece that helps us complete that picture. The story of the Martian atmosphere is a tale of change, loss, and perhaps hope for the future. What other secrets does the Red Planet hold for us? Only time and future missions will be able to answer those questions. The Mars Mission 2020, known as Perseverance, has captured the attention of the entire world. But what makes this mission so special? Since its launch on July 30th, 2020, Perseverance has had a clear objective: to search for signs of past life on Mars. This rover is like a space detective, analysing every corner of the Red Planet for clues about what may have once inhabited its lands. The rover weighs approximately 1,000 kilograms, which is equivalent to a small car. But don't be fooled by its size, as it is equipped with an impressive array of scientific tools that allow it to conduct experiments and analyses in real time. Imagine a mobile laboratory designed to unravel the darkest secrets of Mars' past. What kind of secrets? Well, Perseverance is looking for rocks that may have been formed by biological activity. One of the most intriguing aspects of this mission is its landing site, Jezero Crater. This is not just any crater. Millions of years ago, it was a lake that held water. What does that mean? that, just like on Earth, where water is essential for life, Mars may have also been a home for microorganisms in its past. Perseverance is designed to explore the rocks and sediments of this ancient lake to find evidence of life. The mission is not only about searching for past life, but also about collecting samples. Imagine being an archaeologist finding pieces of an ancient puzzle. Perseverance is collecting these fragments and storing them in tubes, ready to be brought back to Earth in a future mission. How does it feel to know that we could have Martian samples in our hands in a few years? It's a monumental step in our quest to understand if we're alone in the universe. In addition to its ingenuity in the search for life, Perseverance is also testing new technologies. For example, it has brought along a small helicopter called Ingenuity. This drone is conducting flights in the Martian atmosphere, something that has never been done before. Imagine a little bird flying through an unknown landscape, capturing images and data that will help plan future explorations. This experiment is not only exciting but also opens the door to new ways of exploring other planets. As Perseverance traverses the Martian surface, it is sending data and images back to Earth. Each new image is a window into a strange and fascinating world. But how does it feel to be part of this adventure? For the scientists and engineers on Earth, each discovery is a reason to celebrate, a step closer to understanding our planetary neighbour. One of the most intriguing questions raised is, what will we do with the data we collect? Besides searching for life, this data will help us better understand the climate and geology of Mars. Could Mars have ever been a habitable place? Perseverance is working to answer that question, and each discovery could change our perspective on the planet. It's fascinating to think about how this mission is laying the groundwork for future human explorations. The idea that one day we could walk on the surface of Mars is thrilling. Perseverance is not only seeking answers to ancient questions, but also paving the way for humans to get there. Who wouldn't want to be part of that future? The science behind Perseverance is also a testament to human ingenuity. Every component and tool has been carefully designed to work in the harsh conditions of Mars. From extreme temperatures to dust storms, this rover is prepared to face challenges that most of us could hardly imagine. What other challenges does space hold for us? As we advance in this mission, it is vital to remember the importance of teamwork. Thousands of people have been involved in the creation, planning, and execution of Perseverance. From engineers to scientists, each has contributed uniquely to this great effort. What does this mean for the future of space exploration? A collective effort can take us to places that we could not reach individually. In summary, the Perseverance mission is an exciting chapter in the history of Mars exploration. With its search for past life eons, sample collection, and testing of new technologies, this rover is changing our understanding of the Red Planet. As the days pass on Mars, so do the possibilities of discoveries that could transform our view of the universe. The exploration of Mars is undoubtedly a journey that is just beginning, and each step we take brings us a little closer to unveiling the mysteries of our planetary neighbour. What discoveries await us in the future? The answer lies in the hands of Perseverance and the mysteries that Mars still holds. Did you know that in the year 2020, a small helicopter made history on Mars? This drone, called Ingenuity, not only represented a technological advancement, but also symbolized a new chapter in space exploration. What makes it so special? It became the first powered vehicle to perform controlled flights on another planet, something that seemed straight out of a science fiction movie. Imagine for a moment what it means to fly in the thin atmosphere of Mars, which is only 1% of the density of Earth's atmosphere. To put it in perspective, it's like trying to fly at the top of a very high mountain, where the air is scarce and everything seems more difficult. However, Ingenuity was not intimidated. With an ingenious design and lightweight, it managed to lift off the Martian ground and perform several impressive maneuvers. Ingenuity's mission was in part an experiment. NASA wanted to know if it was possible to fly on Mars while also testing how it would be to use drones in future explorations. Why use a drone? The answer is simple. A drone can access places that rovers cannot reach. It can fly over mountains, explore deep valleys, and capture images from angles we could not have imagined. This opens up a range of possibilities for Mars exploration. Ingenuity's first flight was an exciting moment. With a smooth takeoff, the drone rose 3 meters and stayed in the air for about 20 seconds. Can you imagine the excitement of the engineers on Earth as they watched this little device fly in such a distant world? It was a resounding success, which not only validated the technology but also infused enthusiasm in the scientific community and the general public. But what was the real purpose of these flights? Each flight had a specific objective. Ingenuity was not just flying for fun. In each mission, it collected data about the atmosphere, terrain, and conditions of the planet. This data is crucial for future missions, as it helps scientists better plan rover explorations and understand the Martian environment. As Ingenuity completed its flights, it became a kind of aerial explorer, sending back stunning images of Martian landscapes. The views from the air revealed detail that rovers could not capture. It was like having an eye in the sky that could observe Mars from a completely new perspective. Can you imagine seeing a place where gravity is different and the landscapes are strange, all from the comfort of your home? Ingenuity's ability to perform multiple flights on Mars also raised an intriguing question. Could drones be a key to the colonization of Mars in the future? Imagine a world where drones not only explore but also help build bases and infrastructure. They could deliver supplies, conduct detailed mapping, and even assist in the search for essential resources. Each of Ingenuity's flights was a step toward understanding what is needed to operate on Mars. With each takeoff, the idea of what was possible on other planets was being challenged. The mission demonstrated that drones can be a valuable tool for future explorations, not only on Mars but on other celestial bodies. As Ingenuity continued its work, scientists also realized the importance of communication between the drone and Earth. The data and images it sent back were essential for understanding how it operated in the Martian environment. The connection between Ingenuity and its team on Earth resembles the relationship between an explorer and their guide, where each piece of information is a treasure that enriches the mission. Throughout its mission, Ingenuity completed more than 10 flights, each bolder than the last. Each time it took off, there was a mix of nerves and excitement. Would it work again? What new images and information would it bring back? Each flight was a reminder that space exploration is full of uncertainties, but also of great rewards. In this journey, Ingenuity not only proved that it is possible to fly on Mars, but also inspired a new generation of scientists and engineers. Many young people today dream of being part of space exploration, motivated by the possibility of discovering new worlds and contributing to the search for life in the universe. The story of Ingenuity is a testament to human ingenuity and our innate curiosity. It reminds us that, although the challenges are great, perseverance and innovation can take us to places we once only imagined. Thus, as we look toward the future of Martian exploration, it is clear that the sky is not the limit, but just the beginning of a journey far beyond. Who knows what other secrets Mars has in store for us? The adventure is just beginning. The search for past life on Mars has been one of the great mysteries that has fascinated us for decades. Why Mars? Because despite being a desolate and cold place, it is the most Earth-like neighbouring planet. Imagine Mars as an ancient book filled with stories that we have yet to read. And the big question is, what tales could it tell us about the life that once may have existed there? Scientists are convinced that, at some point in its history, Mars was a warm and wet planet with oceans and rivers, similar to how Earth was billions of years ago. Space missions have found clues pointing to the existence of water, an essential ingredient for life. But how do you search for life in such an inhospitable place? The answer lies in exploring and analysing its soil and atmosphere. To better understand, consider that Mars is like a large natural laboratory. Rovers, those small exploratory robots, act like scientists collecting samples and conducting experiments. For example, the Curiosity rover has been drilling into rocks and analysing the soil to discover what chemical compounds are present. And what have they found? Elements like carbon, which are fundamental for life as we know it on Earth. But it's not just about searching for water and carbon. It's also crucial to discover if there was any kind of biological activity in the past. This is where Martian geology comes into play. Just like a detective following the traces of a criminal, scientists study rock formations and sediments to look for signs of life. This process is like reading the pages of an ancient diary, where each layer of rock tells a part of Mars' story. One of the most interesting methods for detecting past life is analysing the Martian atmosphere. Missions like MAVEN have been studying how it has changed over the years. They have discovered that Mars lost much of its atmosphere, which leads us to ask, what happened to the water? If there was water in the past, where did it go? The answers to these questions are key to understanding the fate of life on Mars. Scientists also wonder if Mars could have harboured microbial organisms. These microorganisms are like the forgotten heroes of the story of life on Earth. They are small, but their presence is essential. If there was ever life, it could have been in the form of these tiny organisms that inhabited aquatic environments. Missions have searched for biomarkers, organic compounds that could indicate the presence of life, as if they were looking for signatures on an ancient document. However, the search is not straightforward. Every time scientists analyse a sample, they must consider the possibility that what they find is simply inorganic matter, like minerals. It's a bit like trying to find a needle in a haystack. One must be meticulous and take all variables into account. The interpretation of results requires deep knowledge, and sometimes the findings are more confusing than they seem. Controversy has also been present along this path. Some missions, like those of Viking, found results that seemed to indicate biological activity, but the conclusions were not definitive. It's as if they found a footprint in the sand but were unsure whether it belonged to an animal or was simply a natural formation. This lack of consensus has led to intense debates within the scientific community. The advancement of technology has allowed the search for life on Mars to become more precise. The instruments on the rovers have evolved and can now perform real-time analysis, meaning scientists can receive information quickly. It's like having a state-of-the-art telescope that can see beyond what our eyes are capable of. This capability has opened new doors in the quest for answers. Looking ahead, the next generation of missions is set to take the search for life to another level. With projects like Mars Sample Return, scientists plan to bring samples from Mars back to Earth for deeper analysis. Imagine being able to study that Martian soil in a laboratory here on our planet. It would be like opening a treasure trove of information that could change our understanding of life in the universe. The desire to understand if there was ever life on Mars goes beyond scientific curiosity. It leads us to reflect on our own existence. If we find life, even in microbial form, it could change our perspective on what it means to be alive in the vast cosmos. Are we alone in the universe? The answer to this question could be hidden in the Martian soil, waiting to be discovered. The search for life on Mars is therefore a blend of science, exploration, and a deep desire to understand our place in the universe. As we continue to send missions to the Red Planet, each finding brings us a little closer to unraveling its history, and each discovery could be another page in the book of life, a story yet to be written. With each mission, scientists venture into the unknown, armed with human curiosity and ingenuity, seeking answers that could forever change our view of the cosmos. The exploration of Mars has been a fascinating adventure, and it would not be possible without the innovative technology that has been behind each mission. What kind of tools have been used to uncover the secrets of the Red Planet? Let's think of it as a detective game, where each instrument is a clue that helps us solve a cosmic mystery. Let's start with telescopes. Since the early days of astronomy, these instruments have been our eyes in the sky. Imagine a telescope as a giant magnifying glass that allows us to see details of Mars that are invisible to the eye. Thanks to them, we have been able to observe the Martian surface, its polar caps, and sometimes even dust storms. But what happens when we want to see up close? That's where space probes come into play. Probes are like brave explorers that venture into space. These spacecraft, equipped with cameras and sensors, travel millions of kilometers to reach Mars. Once there, they become our eyes and ears, sending crucial information about the planet's environment and geology. Imagine each probe as a little robot that, upon reaching its destination, starts taking photographs, analyzing samples, and sending data back to Earth. Without these brave probes, many of the discoveries we know today would have remained hidden. But exploration doesn't stop there. Rovers, those small vehicles that traverse the Martian surface, are another key piece in this incredible adventure. Equipped with advanced scientific tools, these robots act like geologists on Mars, analysing rocks and soil to discover their composition. Have you ever wondered how a rover can make decisions on its own? They use algorithms and advanced programming that allow them to navigate difficult terrain and avoid obstacles, much like having an expert driver on a surprise-filled road trip. In the search for past life, chemical analysis plays a fundamental role. The instruments on the rovers and probes can identify compounds in the soil and atmosphere, looking for signs of water and other essential elements for life. Think of this like a chef examining ingredients to prepare the perfect dish. Each sample collected by the rovers is meticulously analysed, and any hint of water or organic compounds can be a major finding. Communication is another crucial aspect. Imagine you're in a game of broken telephone but on a planetary scale. The information that the rovers send to Earth travels through radio waves, which means it can take anywhere from 3 to 20 minutes to arrive. This requires a robust communication system, similar to a cellular network, but much more advanced. Every time we receive data, it's like getting a message from a friend on a distant adventure. Energy is another piece of the puzzle. Where do the rovers get the energy they need to operate? Some use solar panels that convert sunlight into electricity, while others, like the Curiosity rover, have nuclear generators. This type of energy provides a constant source that allows the rovers to operate even during the long Martian nights. It's like having a battery that never runs out, ensuring there is always power to explore and send data. The instruments themselves are also a marvel. From spectrometers that can analyze the composition of rocks, to high-resolution cameras that capture stunning images of the Martian landscape, each tool has a specific purpose. Did you know that some of these instruments can detect the presence of methane in Mars' atmosphere? This gas is a possible indicator of biological activity, meaning that every time it is detected, new questions arise about the possibility of life. But the path to Martian exploration has not always been easy. With each mission, we have learned through mistakes. The technologies that failed taught us valuable lessons that have improved subsequent missions. This is how science progresses. Every stumble is a step forward. The ability to adapt and improve is what has led us to the incredible achievements we celebrate today. Artificial intelligence is also beginning to play an important role. AI systems help the rovers make real-time decisions, allowing them to explore more efficiently. Imagine your car having a system that allows it to avoid traffic. That's how AI helps the rovers navigate the Martian terrain, choosing the safest and most effective routes. So what is the future of technology in Mars exploration? With each new mission, more advanced and efficient tools are being developed. 3D printing is being explored to build structures on Mars, and robotics is constantly evolving. Each innovation promises to open new possibilities for exploration, bringing us one step closer to understanding the Red Planet. International collaboration has also been essential on this journey. Each country participating in Mars exploration brings its own technology and knowledge. This is a bit like a football team. Each player has their own skill, and together they form an unbeatable team. The union of resources and efforts has allowed missions to be more ambitious and effective. The exploration of Mars is a testament to human ingenuity. Every tool, every probe, and every rover reflects our curiosity and desire to explore the unknown. As we look ahead, we are not only seeking answers about Mars, but also about ourselves and our place in the universe. In summary, the technology behind Martian exploration is a combination of creativity, collaboration, and perseverance. With each discovery, we get a little closer to unveiling the secrets of Mars and perhaps, one day, making the Red Planet a new home for humanity. The adventure is just beginning, and the possibilities are endless. What does the future hold for Mars exploration? That is a question that sparks the curiosity of scientists, engineers, and dreamers around the world. The exploration of the Red Planet is at a fascinating crossroads. We are about to take steps that could transform our relationship with Mars and perhaps with the very concept of life on other worlds. First, let's talk about NASA's ambitions. The Artemis mission, which aims to bring astronauts back to the Moon, is not just a return to our satellite, it is a springboard to Mars. Why the Moon? Imagine the Moon as a testing ground where astronauts can practice before embarking on the great journey to Mars. Through Artemis, NASA hopes to develop technologies and skills that will be essential for Martian exploration. But NASA is not alone in this adventure. SpaceX, Elon Musk's company, has big plans for Mars. Could it be that they are looking to establish a colony on the Red Planet? The idea of sending humans to Mars on a months-long mission is bold, but Musk has shared visions of a self-sustaining city on Mars. Imagine a place where humanity can live, work, and perhaps find new forms of life. However, establishing a colony on Mars is not simply an interplanetary stroll. It requires solid infrastructure. From habitats that protect humans from radiation to systems for producing oxygen and water, the technology we develop for these purposes could change the way we live on Earth, and that is incredibly exciting. And what about robots? They are set to play a crucial role in the next phase of Martian exploration. Rovers like Perseverance are designed to collect Martian soil samples that could eventually be returned to Earth. Imagine these little explorers as our eyes and hands on the Red Planet, gathering information and sending it back for us to analyze. But what if we find signs of life? The search for life on Mars is one of the most intriguing goals of future missions. Scientists are tirelessly working to develop new technologies that can detect microorganisms or even fossils in Martian soil. The answer to whether there was ever life on Mars could change our understanding of our place in the universe. International collaboration will also be key in this new era of exploration. Countries around the world are joining forces to share resources and information. Imagine the joint effort as a large team in a relay race, where each country has an important role to play. This collaboration will not only enrich our missions, but also strengthen ties between nations in a common effort to discover the unknown. And let's not forget the crucial role of artificial intelligence. Machines are learning to make smarter decisions in real time, which means our rovers and probes can adapt to new situations. What would happen if a dust storm covered a rover? With artificial intelligence, these devices could find ways to protect themselves and continue functioning in adverse conditions like resilient little explorers. Mars exploration is also driving science and technology here on Earth. The technologies developed for space missions have found their way into our daily lives, from advances in medicine to new engineering techniques. Martian exploration is not just an effort to discover, but also a laboratory for innovations that can benefit humanity. And amid all this, an intriguing question arises: what does it really mean to colonize another planet? The ethics of establishing a human presence on Mars is a topic of debate. From protecting potential ecosystems to the responsibility of humans toward other worlds, these are issues we must consider carefully. Exploration is not just about conquering, but about understanding and respecting what we find. As we look to the future, it is essential to remember that each mission, each discovery, brings us one step closer to unraveling the secrets of Mars. The exploration of the Red Planet is a journey of learning, an adventure that invites us to question our own existence and the place we occupy in the cosmos. Are we ready to embrace the unknown and see what secrets Mars has in store for us? The next decade promises to be exciting. With scheduled missions and new technologies in development, Mars could become the new horizon for humanity. The advancements we make will not only take us further into space, but could also redefine what it means to be human in a vast and mysterious universe. In the end, Mars exploration is not just about science and technology. It is a quest for connection, to understand our place in the universe, and to explore the possibility that we are not alone. So, as we gaze at the starry sky, let us remember that Mars is more than a red dot in the firmament. It is a symbol of what we can achieve when we come together in the pursuit of knowledge. The exploration of Mars has been a fascinating journey, a voyage that has taken us to the gates of the unknown and made us question our own existence. What have we learned so far? Why is it so crucial to continue investigating the Red Planet? These are just some of the questions that arise when we reflect on our achievements on Mars. Each mission has been like a piece of a giant puzzle, revealing a little more about the history of this mysterious planet. From the first glimpses of images of its surface to the sophisticated rovers that now walk on its soil, we have been unraveling the secrets of a world that, although distant, feels increasingly close. But what lies behind this thirst for knowledge? The search for answers about life, climate, and geology on Mars is fundamental to understanding our own history on Earth. Let's consider for a moment the question: could Mars have harbored life at some point? The answer is complex and filled with nuances. Exploration has shown signs of water, an essential element for life as we know it. But is that enough to claim that life ever existed there? Each discovery leads us to new questions, and it is this cycle of inquiry that drives science forward. When thinking about the future, it's easy to feel excited. The possibility of sending humans to Mars is a monumental step, like taking a leap of faith into the unknown. Imagine what it would mean for humanity to establish a base on another planet. It's not just about exploring, but about expanding our frontiers, about becoming a multiplanetary species. Who wouldn't want to be part of that chapter in the history of humanity? The technology that has enabled these advances is another fascinating aspect. From the rockets that launch us into space to the sophisticated instruments that analyze Martian soil, each innovation has been crucial. Have you ever wondered how an engineer feels watching their creation land on another planet? Each success is like a small triumph, a celebration of human perseverance and ingenuity. As we look to the horizon, it's important to remember that the exploration of Mars is not just a scientific goal, but also a source of inspiration. The images of Martian landscapes, the stories of brave rovers, and the data that continues to flow to us are a reminder that, despite the challenges, the human spirit is capable of achieving great things. What other adventure awaits us in the future? Future missions like those from SpaceX and NASA are filled with promises and possibilities. What new discoveries will the next decade bring us? With each mission, we get a little closer to answering questions that have been lingering in the air for centuries. Curiosity is a powerful engine, and Mars is the ideal playground for our imagination. Over the years, we have seen how international collaboration has been a key factor in the exploration of Mars. Countries from around the world have joined forces, sharing knowledge and resources. Isn't it amazing to think about how a collective effort can take us into the unknown? This spirit of cooperation is a beacon of hope in an often divided world. Reflecting on our achievements on Mars also involves considering the impact these advances have on our understanding of Earth. Each discovery on the red planet offers us a new perspective on our own home. What lessons can we learn from Mars that apply to Earth? The connection between these two worlds is deeper than we might imagine. Martian exploration invites us to dream big. It reminds us that space is vast and full of mysteries, and that there is still much to discover. Every time we look at the sky, we can see beyond the stars towards a future full of possibilities. Who knows? Perhaps one day our descendants will live on Mars and look back, grateful for the pioneers who dared to dream and explore. In conclusion, the exploration of Mars is more than a series of missions. It is a journey that defines our era. It challenges us to question, to innovate, and to dream. Each discovery brings us a little closer to understanding not only Mars but also ourselves. The history of humanity is intrinsically linked to the quest for the unknown, and Mars is one of the last frontiers left for us to explore. Let us move forward, for the future of Martian exploration is just beginning.